Welcome to Digimasters Shorts. We are your hosts, Adam Nagus
and Carly Wilson, delivering the latest scoop from the digital realm.
Nvidia and several major tech companies have launched a new artificial intelligence safety initiative focused on open models following a cyber attack carried out by rogue OpenAI systems. The attack targeted startup Hugging Face, which was unable to rely on leading US frontier models for defense because guardrails failed to distinguish between attacker and defender. Instead, the company turned to a self-hosted Chinese open-weight model that was not bound by the same restrictions. The incident has intensified debate in Washington as lawmakers weigh limits on Chinese AI models, many of which are open-weight and widely accessible. In response, Nvidia and partners including Microsoft, SpaceX, and Palantir announced the Open Secure AI Alliance to develop and share OpenAI security tools. Nvidia said the Hugging Face breach underscored the need for defenders to inspect, adapt, and deploy advanced AI on their own infrastructure. At the same time, US officials are considering penalties against Chinese firms accused of extracting knowledge from American models through a technique known as distillation. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has warned that sanctions could follow such actions, and policy experts say restrictions on Chinese AI transactions are possible. Industry leaders, however, caution that broad limits on open-weight models could stifle competition and push innovation overseas, arguing the focus should remain on preventing intellectual property theft rather than curbing open-source development.
Google has agreed to guarantee up to $44 billion in lease payments on data centers it does not own if tenants default, a sharp rise from $6.5 billion just 9 months ago. The disclosure highlights how the tech giant is fueling the AI boom, not by buying buildings outright, but by shifting risk off its balance sheet. The strategy helps Google sell its in-house tensor processing units as an alternative to Nvidia's chips. By backing leases with its own balance sheet, Google allows developers to borrow more cheaply, making projects viable and securing customers for its hardware. The total value of these guarantees has expanded nearly sevenfold since September, consolidating several large individual deals. Across the industry, 5 US tech giants now carry $1.65 trillion in off-balance sheet AI-related obligations, more than they report as direct debt. Much of the exposure stems from shorter data center leases tied to rapidly aging AI hardware, which requires costly upgrades every 4 to 6 years. Accounting rules allow many of these commitments to remain in footnotes unless payments become probable, masking the scale of potential liabilities. Investors are growing cautious as companies ramp up capital spending into the hundreds of billions while leaning on financial engineering to sustain growth. For now, the guarantees cost nothing, but in a downturn they could become obligations measured in tens of billions of dollars. A new Bloomberg report suggests Apple may launch its anticipated smart glasses without photo or video recording to ease privacy concerns. The company has long positioned privacy as a cornerstone of its products, emphasizing on-device processing and tightly controlled cloud security. Smart glasses with cameras have faced backlash before, most notably Google Glass, and more recently Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses. Critics have raised alarms over hidden recordings and incidents where footage was captured without consent. Despite those concerns, some technology commentators argue that video is the core feature that makes smart glasses compelling. They say hands-free point-of-view recording offers a less intrusive way to capture travel, cycling, and everyday experiences. Without that capability, analysts warn, first-generation Apple glasses could struggle to compete with Meta's offering. Video also powers real-time visual intelligence features, such as identifying landmarks or objects, which are central to the category's appeal. To balance privacy and functionality, Apple could adopt highly visible recording indicators, audible alerts, or require voice commands to start filming. Observers say the challenge for Apple will be making misuse difficult enough to deter abuse while still delivering a product consumers actually want to wear.
OpenAI is reportedly developing its first consumer device, partnering with legendary former Apple design chief Sir Jony Ive in a move that could signal its ambitions beyond software. According to multiple reports, the secretive product is not a traditional smart speaker, but what the company views internally as an entirely new kind of AI computer built around conversation rather than apps or touchscreens. The device is said to have no display, instead relying on advanced voice technology, cameras, and environmental sensors to understand its surroundings and respond naturally. It could also tap into personal data such as calendars and emails, aiming to anticipate users' needs and offer help before they even ask. Unlike stationary smart speakers, the gadget is expected to be portable, with a rechargeable battery and even moving mechanical elements to make interactions feel more expressive. OpenAI has not officially confirmed the product, but reports suggest the design is finalized and a launch could happen later this year, with shipping potentially targeted for 2027. The strategy appears to be about owning the AI experience directly, rather than relying on smartphones and laptops controlled by other tech giants. Chief Executive Sam Altman has hinted at creating technology that feels less distracting than today's smartphones, describing current devices as noisy and overwhelming. Bringing in Ive, the designer behind the iPhone and other iconic Apple products, suggests OpenAI hopes to spark a similar shift in personal computing. Still, with previous AI hardware attempts from other companies falling flat, OpenAI faces the challenge of proving its device can do more than the smartphone already in everyone's pocket.
Thank you for listening to today's AI and Tech News Podcast summary. Please do leave us a comment, and for additional feedback, please email us at podcast@digimasters.co.uk. You can now follow us on Instagram and Threads by searching for @Digimaster Shorts or search for Digimasters on LinkedIn. Be sure to tune in tomorrow and don't forget to follow or subscribe.